Over 14 million people in the UK are now struggling to cover basic living costs, and many of them are working full-time. Let that sink in. You wake up early, work hard, and still feel like you are falling behind. So where is your money really going? Prices keep rising, bills feel heavier, and somehow your income feels smaller each month. This is not just bad luck. There is a deeper system at play. Behind the scenes, a quiet financial shift is happening. Energy prices jump without warning. Food portions shrink while prices grow. Taxes rise in ways most people do not notice. Experts call it real income erosion, but for you, it feels like stress, pressure, and constant worry. You may even blame yourself, but the truth is, this system is designed in a way that most people never fully see. So what if you could spot the hidden forces draining your money before they hit? What if small, smart moves could protect you starting today? Stay with me, because the next few minutes could change how you see your money and your future forever.
Number 10. Stagnant wages versus rising inflation. For years, something subtle but powerful has been happening inside the UK economy. Wages have stayed almost still, while prices keep climbing. At first, the change feels small, a few extra pounds on groceries, a higher energy bill. But over time, this gap grows wider. Economists call this real wage decline, which simply means your money buys less than it used to. Even if your salary looks the same or slightly higher, your true buying power is shrinking in the background. This is not random. It is a slow shift that builds pressure month after month. Here's where it gets more serious. Inflation does not hit all items equally. Essential goods like food, rent, and energy often rise faster than average inflation. That means the things you cannot avoid become more expensive first. Research shows that lower and middle-income households feel this the most because a larger share of their income goes to essentials. So while official reports may say inflation is cooling, your daily life tells a different story. This creates a silent squeeze where you feel poorer without any clear reason why. Now here's the critical move. You cannot control inflation, but you can control how you respond to it. Start by tracking every pound you spend for just 14 days. This reveals hidden leaks. Next, focus on income growth, not just cost cutting. Even a small side skill, freelancing, online work, or weekend services can create a buffer. Finally, review your expenses and cut what does not directly improve your life. In a system where money quietly loses value, your awareness becomes your strongest defense. Number 9. Energy price volatility. Energy prices do not rise in a straight line. They move in sudden spikes, driven by forces most people never see. Global supply shocks, political tensions, and changes in national policy can all push prices up overnight. When supply drops or uncertainty grows, markets react fast. Energy companies pass this cost directly to households, and your bill becomes the final stop in a long chain of events. It feels random, but it is not. It is a system that reacts to global pressure, not personal income. Here is the deeper issue. Energy is not optional. You cannot simply stop heating your home or using electricity. This creates what experts call inelastic demand, meaning you must keep paying no matter the price. Studies show households often underestimate how much energy they waste daily through heat loss, idle devices, and poor timing of usage. This hidden waste quietly inflates your bills, making price spikes even harder to handle. So when rates increase, you are not just paying more, you are often paying more for energy you did not even need. Now shift from reaction to control. Start by identifying where your energy actually goes. Use a simple plug-in energy monitor or track your meter daily for 1 week. Next, reduce heat loss. Seal windows, use thicker curtains, and lower your thermostat by just 1 degree. This alone can cut bills by up to 10%. Finally, change when you use energy. Run heavy appliances during off-peak hours if your tariff allows it. Small timing changes create real savings. In a system where prices jump without warning, efficiency is not optional, it is your shield. If this made you pause and think, then ask yourself this: where do you feel the pressure most in your life right now? And what is one move you can make today to take back control?
Share your experience below, because your story might open someone else's eyes. Before you leave, make sure to watch our previous video where we break down even deeper strategies to protect your money in uncertain times. We put hours of deep research and effort into every video to bring you real, useful insights. So support the channel. Subscribe now. It's just one click.
Number 8. Housing costs outpacing income. Housing costs are not just rising, they are moving faster than income can keep up. Over the past few years, rent and mortgage payments have climbed at a steady pace, while wages lag behind. This creates a widening gap that most people feel but cannot fully explain. The system is driven by supply and demand, but with a twist. There are simply not enough affordable homes, while demand keeps growing. This imbalance allows prices to rise with little resistance, and once prices rise, they rarely come back down. The deeper mechanism is even more intense. Interest rates play a silent but powerful role. When rates go up, mortgage costs increase, and landlords often pass that cost to renters. This creates a chain reaction across the entire housing market. At the same time, property is treated as an investment asset, not just a place to live. This means prices are influenced by investors, not just families looking for homes. Research shows this pushes prices beyond what average earners can afford. So even if your income stays stable, housing quietly takes a bigger share of your monthly budget. Now focus on control. Start by calculating your true housing ratio. How much of your income goes to rent or mortgage? If it crosses 30 to 35%, you are in a high-risk zone. Next, explore flexible options. House sharing, negotiating rent, or moving slightly outside high-demand areas can reduce pressure fast. Even a small location shift can create major savings over time. Finally, review your contract terms and look for renewal points where you can negotiate. In a system where housing keeps rising, your strategy must stay one step ahead. Number 7. Food price inflation, shrinkflation effect. Food prices are rising in a way that is easy to miss but hard to escape. It is not just that prices are going up, the size of what you buy is quietly going down. This is known as shrinkflation. A cereal box looks the same, but it holds less. A snack feels lighter, but costs more. Your brain sees the same packaging, so it assumes the value is the same, but in reality, you are paying more for less. This creates a hidden form of inflation that most people do not notice at first, yet it slowly drains your budget over time. The deeper system behind this is psychological. Companies know that people react more strongly to price increases than to size reductions. So instead of raising prices openly, they reduce quantity while keeping the price stable or slightly higher. Studies in consumer behavior show that most shoppers do not check weight or volume changes, especially during routine purchases. This allows shrinkflation to spread quietly across everyday items like bread, snacks, and even household essentials. The result is a double hit. You spend more and receive less without a clear warning sign. Now take back control with awareness and strategy. Start by comparing price per unit, not just the total price. Look at cost per gram or per kilogram. This reveals the true value instantly. Next, shift toward bulk buying for items you use often, as larger quantities usually offer better value. Store brands can also deliver the same quality at a lower cost. Finally, plan your meals before shopping and stick to a list. This reduces impulse buying, which companies rely on heavily. In a system designed to hide real price increases, your attention to detail becomes your strongest financial weapon. Number 6. Tax burden at multi-year highs. Taxes are not just rising, they are expanding quietly in ways most people do not notice. You may feel like your income has stayed the same or even increased slightly, but your take-home pay tells a different story. This happens because of something called fiscal drag. As wages rise slowly, tax thresholds often stay frozen. This pulls more of your income into higher tax bands without any real increase in your buying power. It feels like progress, but it is actually a hidden loss. Over time, this silent shift reduces what you keep each month. The deeper mechanism is subtle but powerful. Governments do not always need to raise tax rates directly to collect more money. Instead, by keeping thresholds fixed during inflation, they increase tax revenue automatically. Studies in public finance show that this method is less visible, which means it creates less public resistance. At the same time, indirect taxes like VAT continue to apply to everyday spending, so you are taxed when you earn and taxed again when you spend. This creates a layered effect where money is reduced at multiple points, making the financial pressure feel constant and hard to escape. Now shift to control and awareness. Start by reviewing your payslip in detail, not just your salary figure. Understand exactly how much tax you are paying and where it changes. Next, make full use of tax-free allowances, such as ISAs or pension contributions, to legally reduce your taxable income. Even small adjustments can create long-term gains. Finally, plan your income timing if possible, especially for bonuses or extra earnings. Spreading income across tax years can help you avoid higher brackets. In a system where taxes rise quietly, clarity is your strongest defense.
Number 5. Interest rate hikes impacting debt. Interest rates may sound like a distant financial term, but they directly control how expensive your life becomes. When central banks raise rates, borrowing money becomes more costly across the entire system. Mortgages, credit cards, personal loans all become heavier. What once felt manageable can suddenly feel overwhelming. This shift does not happen slowly. It moves in steps, and each step increases the pressure on households already stretched thin. Your monthly payments rise, but your income often does not keep pace. The deeper system works through what experts call debt sensitivity. Modern economies rely heavily on borrowing, which means even small rate increases can have large effects. Research shows that households with variable rate mortgages or high credit usage feel the impact first and most intensely. Lenders adjust rates quickly, but incomes adjust slowly. This creates a timing gap where expenses jump ahead of earnings. Over time, more of your money is diverted toward interest payments rather than building savings or improving your quality of life. You are not just paying back money, you are paying for the cost of borrowing it. Now take control with clear action. Start by identifying your highest interest debts and focus on clearing those first. This is known as the avalanche method, and it reduces total interest over time. Next, explore fixed-rate options where possible to protect yourself from future increases. Stability becomes your advantage in an unstable system. Also, avoid taking on new debt unless it is absolutely necessary. Pause and ask yourself if the cost of borrowing is worth the long-term impact. In a system where interest keeps rising, reducing debt is not just smart, it is survival strategy.
Number 4. Decline in public services value. Public services are still there, but the value you receive from them is quietly shrinking. On paper, funding may look stable or slightly increased, but when you adjust for inflation and rising demand, the real service quality often declines. You wait longer for healthcare, public transport becomes less reliable, local services get reduced or removed. This is not always visible in headlines, but you feel it in daily life. The system stretches thinner while your reliance on it stays the same or even grows. The deeper mechanism is called real-term reduction. This means services lose effectiveness because costs rise faster than funding. At the same time, population growth and aging increase demand. More people are using the same or fewer resources. Studies show this creates bottlenecks, longer queues, slower response times, and reduced access. When public systems weaken, people are pushed toward private alternatives. This shifts more financial burden onto individuals, even though they are already paying taxes to support these services. It is a quiet transfer of responsibility from system to citizen. Now shift your approach to stay protected. Start by identifying which public services you rely on most and where delays could impact you. For healthcare, consider early checkups and preventive care to avoid emergency situations. For transport, build backup options like flexible routes or remote workdays where possible. Planning ahead reduces dependence on strained systems. Also explore community resources, digital services, and local support networks that can fill gaps. In a system where public value is slowly declining, your preparation becomes your safety net.
Number 3. Job market instability and gig economy growth. The job market is changing in a way that feels flexible on the surface, but unstable underneath. More roles are now short-term, contract-based, or part of the gig economy. This means less security, fewer benefits, and unpredictable income. You may be working more, but earning less consistency. Companies shift risk away from themselves and onto workers, allowing them to scale up or down quickly. What looks like freedom is often hidden instability. The deeper system is driven by cost control and efficiency. Businesses reduce long-term commitments like pensions, sick pay, and job security by hiring flexible workers instead. Research shows that gig workers often face income swings of 20 to 30% month to month. This creates financial stress and makes long-term planning harder. At the same time, automation and digital platforms increase competition. You are not just competing locally, you are competing globally. This pushes wages down and increases pressure to constantly adapt. The system rewards speed and flexibility, but it rarely rewards stability. Now shift from risk to control. Start by building multiple income streams, even small ones. This reduces your reliance on a single unstable source. Next, invest time in skills that are in high demand and harder to replace, such as communication, digital tools, or specialized services. Skill security is the new job security. Also, create a basic emergency fund, even if it starts small. This acts as a buffer during income drops. In a system where work is no longer guaranteed, your adaptability becomes your strongest asset.
Number 2. Psychological spending and lifestyle creep. Not all financial pressure comes from outside forces. Some of it is quietly driven by your own behavior, and you may not even notice it. When stress increases, spending often follows. You work hard, feel tired, and tell yourself you deserve a small reward, a takeaway meal, a quick online purchase. These moments feel harmless, even justified, but over time they form a pattern. This is how money slips away, not in big decisions, but in small, repeated actions that feel normal. The deeper mechanism is rooted in behavioral science. Studies show that stress reduces decision-making control and increases impulsive behavior. At the same time, lifestyle creep begins to take hold. As your income rises slightly, your spending rises with it, often faster. What once felt like a luxury becomes a new normal. Streaming services, upgraded phones, frequent dining out, these stack quietly in the background. Your brain adapts quickly, making it hard to cut back later. You are not just spending more, you are resetting your baseline without realizing it. Now take back control with simple but powerful steps. Start by creating a 48-hour rule for non-essential purchases. If you still want it after 2 days, then decide. This breaks impulsive habits. Next, switch to cash or a fixed weekly spending limit for flexible expenses. Physical limits create mental awareness. Also, track emotional triggers. Notice when you spend due to stress, boredom, or reward. Replace that habit with a lower-cost alternative like walking, calling a friend, or resting. In a system where spending is designed to feel easy and automatic, your awareness becomes your strongest form of control.
Number 1. Hidden wealth gap expansion. There is a shift happening that most people feel but rarely see clearly. The gap between those who own assets and those who rely only on income is growing fast. While everyday costs rise, assets like property, stocks, and businesses often increase in value over time. This means one group builds wealth in the background while another struggles just to keep up. It is not just about how much you earn, it's about what you own. And in this system, ownership is pulling further ahead. The deeper mechanism is driven by how money flows in the economy. When inflation rises, central systems often respond in ways that support asset prices. Research shows that those who hold investments benefit from long-term growth, even during uncertain times. Meanwhile, people who depend only on wages face rising costs without the same upside. This creates a widening divide where effort alone is no longer enough to close the gap. Over time, this difference compounds. Small advantages grow into large ones, and catching up becomes harder. Now, focus on what you can control. Start small, but start early. Even modest investing through savings accounts, index funds, or retirement plans can begin to shift your position. The key is consistency, not size. Next, build financial awareness. Learn where money grows and where it loses value. This knowledge changes how you make decisions every day. Finally, avoid thinking that investing is only for the wealthy. In reality, not investing may be the biggest risk of all. In a system where wealth grows quietly in the background, taking action, even small steps, can change your long-term future. What you have just seen is not a series of random problems. It is a connected system that slowly reduces your financial freedom. Each factor, rising costs, hidden taxes, unstable jobs, and shrinking value, works together in the background. Alone, they feel manageable, but combined, they create constant pressure on your wallet and your peace of mind. This is why many people feel stuck even when they're doing everything right. The system is not designed to fail you directly, but it quietly shifts the balance against you over time. The real impact goes beyond money. It affects your choices, your confidence, and your future direction. When more of your income goes towards survival, you have less space to plan, invest, or grow. Opportunities begin to feel limited. Risks feel more dangerous. This is how financial pressure turns into lifestyle restriction. You may delay important decisions, avoid new opportunities, or settle for less than you want. Over time, this changes not just what you can afford, but how you live. But here's the critical shift. Awareness changes your position in the system. Once you see how these forces work, you stop reacting blindly. You begin to act with intention. Small steps, tracking money, building income, reducing waste, and investing wisely start to add up. Control returns, piece by piece. You may not change the system overnight, but you can change how it affects you. And in a world where pressure keeps rising, that awareness becomes your greatest advantage. If this made you pause and think, then ask yourself this: where do you feel the pressure most in your life right now? And what is one move you can make today to take back control? Share your experience below, because your story might open someone else's eyes. Before you leave, make sure to watch our previous video, where we break down even deeper strategies to protect your money in uncertain times. We put hours of deep research and effort into every video to bring you real, useful insights. So support the channel. Subscribe now. It's just one click.